If you're looking to expand your hangar in Flight Simulator 2020, the Marketplace just dropped a fresh set of featured airports. From the heart of Northern Ireland in the regional hubs of the US, we have 4 new scenery upgrades to look at. Leading the pack is Belfast City, Echo Golf Alpha Charlie by FlyX Simulations. We also have Concord Airport, Kilo Charlie Oscar November, from veterans at UK2000, and then of course Four Corners Regional, Kilo Foxtrot Mike November and Cape May, Kilo Whiskey Whiskey Delta by Spinoza. With prices sitting between 14 and 18 euros, are these a must buy for your regional routes? Let's break down the details, check the textures and see how they stack up against the default scenery. Let's go into it. So this is Belfast City, Echo Golf Alpha Charlie by FlyX Simulations. It has runway 04 and 22 and is mostly used for domestic flights. If we scroll down, we can see some more details, right? Serves a vital gateway to Northern Ireland, offering a convenient and well-connected hub for both domestic and regional international flights. The airlines operating from the airport include Aer Lingus, British Airways, EasyJet and longer, linking Belfast with key destinations such as London, Manchester, Birmingham, Edinburgh, Glasgow and beyond. The airport itself is pretty close to the city centre, right? That makes sense because it's called Belfast City and it's serving both business and leisure travelers, ensuring quick and efficient access to the heart of the region. Before we scroll down, let's look at how it currently looks like in Flight Simulator 2020. So this is how Belfast City out of the box looks like, right? We can see some parked cars, we can see a lot of other nice instruments, and if we zoom to the other end, we can see some supporting buildings, even the ones on the other end. But what you see also is some flattened infrastructure, which is, let's say, less realistic than you would like to have it. As mentioned already, this is the default scenery, which is out of the box available in Flight Simulator 2020. Let's fly to the, in this case, traffic towers and the terminal building to see how that looks like. Well, here we can see it, right? Nothing really special. Looks like some things are missing almost, right? And if we would go to the traffic tower, you can see that there's no interior. Even for the terminal building, there's no interior. But let's have a closer look at how this new add-on will add more realism to this airport. And this is the airport. If we compare it with the default scenery, you will see a lot of improvements. You can see a lot of improved buildings, which are more realistic, mimicking it to the airport, how it looks like in real life. If we look at the, say, signs, if we look at the VDGS systems, those are not there. And the cool thing is it also includes the interior of the airport. So not only the exterior, but also the interior, so you can walk around if you're in Flight Simulator 2024 in this airport. For Flight Simulator 2020, you can fly with the drone, of course. That's also an option. And you can see you can even drink coffee at a famous coffee company. Here's some more details, right? Also the night lighting has been adjusted. And a lot of supporting buildings. So a nice airport now available in the marketplace. The next one is Concord Airport, Kilo Charlie Oscar November by UK2000 Scenery. It's located in New Hampshire, United States. You need to have the UK2000 Scenery Common Library installed, which is free from the marketplace. So the airport is a cornerstone of general aviation in central New Hampshire and located just 4 miles south of the state capital. Originally it was established in 1930 and then expanded, right, to be a little bit bigger airport and also becoming a more important airport. Over time it has remained deeply integrated with the New Hampshire's aviation community, hosting immersive medical services, civil air patrol operations and seasonal charter traffic. Before we dive into the details, let's see how it looks like in Flight Simulator 2020 by default. So this is Concord Airport. This is the default scenery in Flight Simulator 2020. You can see that the runway looks okay, but if we would zoom into those buildings, which we're gonna fly to now, you can see that there are a lot of details missing. And that's what it has been added as part of that package, which has been released to UK2000. You can see all hangar doors are closed, nothing really special. If we would, I would say, fly to the other end, you won't see much happening here, right? Also, all those buildings are closed, nothing super nice. So let's jump now to UK2000's package. So we're back. Let's have a look at how it looks like in, let's say, after the update. This is how it looks like. You can see that there is a lot of traffic. It could be that some of the traffic is static. It's unclear from the scenery. You can see hangar buildings which are not there by default, or at least not that detailed by default. You can also see, say, military aircraft. You can see also ground vehicles like people using the airport on the parking spots. And also this, right? You can see this. I'd say really nice. A lot of nice things. Also the wear and tear on the buildings. Super cool to look at. More things. Right, the Concord Aviation Service. Unclear if you can open the doors and close the doors. That would be even more cooler. For the State Police Aviation, the doors are open. Not sure if they're closing. Likely they do, but not sure. And this is how seasonality looks like, right? Winter period. You can see nice snow. Then we've got the Cat2 runway. And then the New Hampshire Army National Guard, where you see the static helicopters for the National Guard parked on the, I would say, aprons. And then, of course, this hangar building. Look at all the details. Super nice. Four Corners Regional Airport, Kilo Foxtrot Mike November by MSFScenery Builders. This is the next airport which we're going to look at. And located in New Mexico. It's a regional airport, as you can see. It's in San Juan County, New Mexico, United States, in the city of Farmington, which owns it. And there's not a lot of detail. So let's first compare it with... So let's first look at the default scenery in Flight Simulator 2020. So this is Four Corners Regional Airport, Kilo Foxtrot Mike November. This is the default 2020 scenery. So if we would zoom into the buildings, you can see that those buildings are okay, but hey, they're missing a lot of details, right? It looks, I would say, not too bad, to be honest. But if, as you can see, there's not a lot of wear and tear. You can see that the traffic tower is, I would say, nicely modeled. You can see the parked cars over there also look cool. But things like open hangar doors or maybe something in addition to what's, I would say, available at the airport, it's not really the case. You can see fire trucks are driving, which is cool. You can see, I would say, some static scenery, which is over there, but some details are missing. So now let's look at how this looks like in the add-on. So we're back and we're going to look at how it looks like in Flight Simulator 2020 after buying this package. You can see a lot of details, including emergency services which are added. You can see a lot, I would say, updated aprons. You can see the traffic tower is nicely modeled. Also, the buildings are super cool. So this is also, I would say, a big upgrade compared to the default scenery in Flight Simulator 2020. Cape May Airport, Kilo Whiskey Whiskey Delta by Spinoza. This airport is located in New Jersey, to be more specific. Wildwood, the business district, and it's, I would say, a special one because it's owned by the Delaware River and Bay Authority. The airport is 4 nautical miles northwest of the central business district, as already mentioned, and it's a public airport. If we scroll down, we can see the size of the airport, but also what we can see is that there is a hangar which contains the Naval Air Station Wildwood Aviation Museum, which is also modeled in this, I would say, package. Before we dive into details, let's look at how it looks like in Flight Simulator 2020 currently. Cape May Airport. As you can see, multiple types of runways, including a very old runway. I'd say some things are even, I would say, not in use anymore. And if we would move over to the other side, we can see the buildings. These are the buildings which are there in the Flight Simulator 2020 default scenery. We can see an emergency truck. Fire truck driving here. We can see some radars. We can see some supporting buildings, but it looks kind of clean. Also, it looks like some details are missing if you look at this scenery. Even a car driving, I would say, straight to the airport. Not really realistic. So let's jump to Spinoza, because they released that new version. And this is how it looks like after the update, right? A lot of additions. You can see the updated taxiways, you can see the updated buildings, including this nice museum where you can walk around and have a look at some legendary aircrafts. There's the Vietnam Museum, which is also there. You can see the Lightning House, which is there. These things are by default not in Flight Simulator 2020, but now with this package you can add them, which makes it more nicer if you want to use this airport, I would say, in Flight Simulator 2020. Update aprons also there, and also say people walking in the museum. Also the Irma Volunteer Fire Company is there, including emergency services. People walking around the airport, maybe just arrived, maybe they're on the way to the car to drive home, or to drive to, say, their end destination. And also here, right, the buildings. You can see that this is a kind of a little bit fake, right? You can't really go inside the offices. This really would say to show that there are offices behind as it looks like. But still, it looks pretty nice. Cape May Airport. If this breakdown helped you decide where to spend your flight sim budget, don't forget to hit the like button. It really helps the channel out. Thanks for watching and hope to see you back next week.